What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the All in Effect with your host, Dave Pookie, and my guy, Miles Raposo. What's up, Miles?
What's going on, brother?
What's up, dude? Guys, as always, this episode is brought to you by All In Performance. We cannot wait to show you guys. The shop is open. I want to say next week, but I don't want to overpromise, underdeliver. So keep an eye out for the exact date. But we are aiming for next week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, just crossing the T's, dotting the I's, getting the final touches in place. Hoping, this week coming up here after the weekend. Hopefully, if everything goes as planned, website should be ready to launch ASAP.
Can't wait to share it, guys. I can't wait to share it with you guys, and just the vision, just getting it out there, and using it, showing it, the whole deal, man. I am so stoked. Something, both of us. I could speak for both of us. It's been a lifelong dream. So it's great to see it finally coming into action.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We were talking about we both grew up in the same place, and just going to North End Fitness, going to the gym, hitting the weights, and trying out the new supplements when they came out, and to have a physical product in our hand with our own brand, our own logo, and something that represents what we stand for. It's been pretty incredible, man. It's an exciting journey, and there's been a lot to learn on the back end of things. People think I don't know what people think, but I'll tell you right now, it's been a lot of work.
Great. Back when, Super Pump, NO Explode.
Oh, yeah.
All the OGs back in the day.
Super.
I don't want to think how long I've actually been drinking pre-workout for. It can't, I'm not the worst thing I ever put in my body, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, brother. So let's get into it.
Let's jump right into it, guys. Couple questions today.
We had thrown up on the social media there. We had asked some of our followers, our friends, to reach out and tell us some topics or some questions that they wanted some feedback on. They wanted to hear on the podcast. We're early, man. This is new. This will be the second episode that we're launching the video on YouTube. It's been on Spotify for a little while. We'll keep launching that, but every Monday, you guys can expect regular content from the All In Effect. You can find us on Instagram at All In Effect. You can find Dave at Dave Pookie, myself at Miles Raposo, and find us at the All In Effect on YouTube. Fired up to have this, fired up to be doing this, man. I've actually really been enjoying the process, and just threw out there just a couple topics. And the first one that came up that we had kind of coordinated and wanted to talk about was, how to give feedback to your friends, right? People that you love, people that you care about, but maybe they're not conducting themselves in the proper in a proper manner, in a manner that's going to be in their best interest, moving them towards their goals. Maybe you see your friends self-sabotaging. How do you give them feedback when you know it's going to be met with resistance, when they're going to become defensive? And the key there that, what comes to me, Dave, you and I have talked about it many times, is that, love ain't lies, man. That, you truly love somebody, lying to them, co-signing their bullshit, enabling their behavior, that's not love.
Yeah, it's just so weird. When you're saying that, I was kind of thinking about, it's not even, it's similar, but it's almost a different, like when I'm just thinking of like having a hard conversation with a friend. More just on the point of hard conversations, on the journey, like you said, even if it's for their benefit. And I was just thinking like of an instance where it's like, you almost have to tell a friend that they're kind of, I want to say, like, I hate using the word hater. Like, when you have to have a honest conversation with a friend, when you're on a journey and, they've been close to you for a long time, and you want to be like, hey man, the shit you're saying to me and what I'm doing, you're not really respecting me.
Sure.
With the comments you're making, and especially for me when it came to like quitting drinking, and having hard conversation, like not lying. And that goes for that scenario too, of being like not lying to myself when I have these conversations, like it's okay that we just go do this when like, hey bro, I don't really want to go fuck around and do this shit. Like my life's not, that's not really what I'm doing with my life. And I did that a lot with people pleasing. Like I lied to myself by
Right.
not saying anything. I was
100%, man. Well, that's an interesting actually point. And that's why I love this. Seriously, I love doing this with you, Dave. It's like it opens up the conversation, it opens up the dialogue, and sometimes things just hit. This reminded me, it's perfect. It's
guys, we
like,
don't rehearse anything. Just to let you
yeah,
know,
totally,
we look
dude.
at a question, or yeah. So
Yeah, no, yeah, it's raw,
this is
right?
real life experience,
And
and
this is something that resonated with me when I was in treatment, man. When I was in rehab for drug addiction, was I was out there and I started realizing we started doing this work on internal issues, on character defects, on behavioral issues, taking a true look at myself. And it was like, you go so long, your whole life, man, our whole childhoods, Dave. We both went to GISS, went to the same high school. What do you do to fit in? You go against your values. You go
you
against your
do anything
values.
you can to fit
You
in.
do
I did
whatever
fun.
you can to fit in. And you want to be that, you want to be the big dog. So you start rolling in and you go against every value you have. You go against, you value integrity? None of that. You value courage? Well, none of that. I don't want to talk about anything that's going on. I'm just going to keep covering that up. You value your health? Nah, screw that. We're getting fucked up every weekend. You value whatever it is, loyalty. I mean, you might be loyal to the ones that are enabling your negative behavior, right? You're not truly loyal to your family, the ones that are actually not lying to you. When you say love ain't lies, your family loves you. They're being hard on you. They want what's best for you. There's no, for most of us, I pushed against all of that for the longest time. And it was, you go against these values, which, it tarnishes you inside slowly but surely. When you go against your values, you don't recognize who you are anymore, and you do it to fit in. We all do that as kids, man, especially guys like me and you that were the life of the party, that just wanted to be acknowledged.
Dude, you wonder, yeah. And after doing that, you wonder. I mean, well, I don't now that I think about it. Like, I wonder why I was so lost for a long time.
It's an empty place, for sure.
And I was, man, it was, yeah. I mean, I did that a lot of my life, and I found when I wasn't sure, like, with my decisions, when I wasn't strong enough, like, and it was the friendship, like, when it was needed to be liked.
Yeah.
And that needed to be liked thing, man, it fucking damn near killed me a few times, because I would always go back on my, like, on my values, on my word to myself. Like, I didn't want to have the hard conversations to friends being like, hey man, especially in sobriety, when I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to drink, but just in order, like, oh, I guess I'll just go to this bar. And I don't know, for me, when you got a partner, you don't drink. The only thing that's going to come out of me going to the bar is I'm either going to get in a fight, get really fucking drunk, or stay up till 6 a.m. doing some blow. Like, that's fucking it.
Totally.
That's
Yeah,
the only
nothing
thing
good's
that
happening after
ever
that time.
happened.
100%. For sure. For
Like,
sure. Having those hard conversations. So like you said, love ain't lies, having those conversations. So the question was, how do you acknowledge this? How do you confront the issue? How do you have the difficult conversation? And the bottom line is if you truly care about an individual, you have to go into it with acceptance and knowing that you can't control this person and you can't make the decision for them. But you, at standing there as a bystander and enabling it by not saying anything because you're too afraid, you're too cowardice to have that difficult conversation, is not something that I ever want to stand for. I've had many difficult conversations. Dave, you and I had one with one of the members of our group when I came down to Seattle to see you. I've had many difficult conversations with many friends, and you tell them exactly what they don't want to hear.
dude,
Because
and if they judge you for it, they're not, or if they get all weird, they're not a real friend. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna say it like they're no, but they just ain't ready to face the truth.
That's it.
Whatever
They're not ready.
that means. When it's like, okay, how about I don't tell you this? You just keep being a loser or lying to yourself or whatever it is, whatever this hard conversation is. How about you just avoid it? You go on living your life pretending it's not there. If that's what you want to do, bro, okay.
Right.
And if you
Yep.
want to hate me for telling you the truth, okay. But usually in that scenario, you don't hate me, you hate yourself. And I'm just the one that brought it to light. Doesn't mean you have to.
Yep.
Because I remember someone, they called me, what the fuck did they say to me? Something like I was like a drunken fucking loser.
Yep.
And they were right. Seriously.
Yeah.
I remember that. Man, fuck.
Yeah. Me too. Same thing.
You
I had
know?
someone constantly tell me, Miles, you're a drug addict. Miles, you're a drug
Yeah,
addict. I would laugh at it. I'm
I
not,
know.
man, the bills are paid. I drive a
Oh,
nice
yeah.
vehicle. I have a nice
Yeah.
place. I'm not a drug addict.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Drug
but I'm
addicts are
doing
living.
drugs. I'm doing drugs every day, if not every, if not every other, like every day, it's every other day. So yeah, when you look back on it and you get outside of it, you look back, and you go, man, was I ever a drug addict?
Yeah. I was a
It's
fucking loser. God, I wish you would have told me that sooner.
yeah, for sure. So, and I think it says a lot too, if you're, and that's the bottom line is you have to be willing to accept that going into it, you might have to confront somebody that's very close to you and bring something to light. And you need to understand that if they're not ready to receive that they're going to respond to that in a negative and a defensive manner. If they're being defensive, if they're being negative, then they're clearly not ready. And if they're not ready to take that on, they're very likely in a place that's going to be taking away from your progress, anyways. So at that
100%.
point in time, knowing if you go into it with acceptance, knowing that that's going to pull you away from your progress and that they're not ready because you can't make them ready. If you're able to identify that and say, hey, you know what? I've held my hand out. My hand is here for you to hold. But if you're not ready to take it, I wish you the best.
Yes.
And when you
I'm
are
here.
ready, I'm here. You
Hmm.
don't need to, Dave. You posted it today on our page. You posted it on the All in Effect Instagram page. Don't something along the lines of don't allow people to drag you down. If people are getting dragged down, they you don't need to go with them,
And
and that's
it's
the
a lot
truth.
easier. It's life is. I give a fuck what anyone tells you. And you guys, going after your dreams way harder than giving up on them. And people convince you to give up on them every day. And it is so easy to get sucked down that fucking trap because the misery just loves company. And dude, when I was at the worst points of my life, when I'd fucking go on a bender, I was only calling people just because I did not want to be alone. I felt such a
Me
loser,
too.
and I'd be like, God, come on, man, come around. Like, just I didn't give a fuck who it was. They didn't even have to be that good of a friend,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
No,
And
that's the truth, man. I've been there very much. So I think we've talked about this before, but we're so uncomfortable at that point in time in our life. We're so uncomfortable with our own presence, with our own energy, with our own um, character at that point in time that anybody else, if you can bring someone else and if they think that you're of value, if they think you're someone special, if they want to give you their attention, then maybe you're worth something. Because when you're on your own, you don't feel like you're worth anything. So whoever wants to come around and give me that positive, those, reaffirm my worth, please come and be
you know what?
present.
You know what's so random and off topic, but isn't it? Oh, man, you know it was crazy when I realized I like I'd never had the hard conversations, and every time I'd go, it was weird. I my cycle of partying and like self pity because I was at such a low point in my life would be like I'd go on a bender, I'd use, and I would say all these things like I was going to change, and I was in this, but I just wanted people to, and maybe allow myself to forgive me for like what I'd done. And as soon as that was over, I never actually wanted to. I never actually had the hard conversations. I would just go repeat it over and over again. I
Yeah.
never actually like I guess it's just talking about how much I would lie to myself is so crazy. Even when I think about it now. But real friends, like if I was like right now, say if I were to do that right now, there is no way. All my other friends were. It was whatever. You know what I mean? Like it was nobody batted an eye. You
Right.
know. Sure. Actually, I had a couple friends kind of when I was in like in a rough patch, being like, "Whoa, Dave is quite the fucking wild drinker," but or whatever. But like a real one would have been like, "Yo, bro, I'm gonna," you know,
Mm-hmm.
that hard conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else just kind of goes along with the noise, and including myself in those stages.
100%, man. Sometimes actually I have a friend right now and just, for anonymity, I'm just going to say, just keep names out of it kind of thing. But it's a friend of ours from back home, and he's going through a situation with, a family member of his brother. And whatever, just to, I can summarize it in he doesn't agree with his brother's behavior. But a lot of people in that situation, that's family. My brother. How do I got to be loyal to this person, through and through, regardless if it's the right thing or not. At some point, man, you can't allow people to drag you down. And like I said, you got to offer out that hand and say, "Hey, I'm not going this way anymore." And if you're not ready, I wish you
My
the
brother
best.
on
But
my
when
life
you
lessons.
are, I'm here, man. And you've been there, you've been very transparent with me on your journey. I've been very transparent with you. We're very raw on this podcast, and in general, we have nothing to hide because there is no shame. And at the end of the day, it's only through acknowledging our truth that we've been able to identify who we truly are and move forward. So with that being said, it's, Dave, you've had to have that conversation with your father, right?
Well,
And and,
I was
and
just gonna say having hard conversations I guess the perfect kind of time to move in this direction right now is like like you said, not allowing anybody to drag you down, whether they're your mother, your brother, your best fucking friend. It's if it's killing you and negatively affecting your life, and you've voiced your opinion, you've had the hard conversation, and it ain't changing. Well, motherfucker, you teach people how to treat you, and if you,
totally.
and if you set the boundaries and they don't respect it, time to go, because the only person that's going to keep affecting is you. And I remember this last year, long story anyway. My dad's he's got Alzheimer's right now. It's crazy. And I didn't talk to him for a year, cut him out of my life. And when my mom had cancer, and anyway, it was just the first time that was the start of like when I really started to love myself. Because every time when you don't set the boundaries, you show yourself you don't love yourself. People that love
Totally.
themselves have boundaries.
Yeah, you're confirming that every time. Yeah, you don't
Fucking
have
write that
no
down. And I wish
no
I would have learned.
value in it.
No, and I wish I took me years. And then you realize, like, wow, if I can't tell people how to respect me, then I clearly don't respect me.
Right.
And I just remember I was at such a point, and that was always what I would do. I would always, when I would use or whatever party, it was always the sob story, right? It's always the fucking sob story, the past. You know how it is with the buddies out. Like they're always talking about their fucking past, and I was like, man. Anyway, I just remember like having these hard conversations and understanding you may go alone, you may go in your positive direction, fucking solo, seriously, because you may have to have conversations that with people like my own father, my half brother, that literally the relationship was built off me having zero boundaries.
Yeah.
So it wasn't actually even a quality relationship. I was just like, oh, well, maybe they'll love me if this, maybe I'll be accepted if this, or maybe. And then I realized, like, how about I just fucking have some self respect and see who's around?
Totally. Yeah, for sure, man. 100%. And yeah, if you're going to allow people to walk all over you, and not set those boundaries, I mean, it just speaks for itself, right? You summed it up, man. If you don't care about yourself, why should you expect anyone else to? And that
You know
comes
how much
into, I
like
think,
self, you know how much like of a fucking mind fuck that is when you don't respect yourself. Because I like that's we talk about this, and I talk about guys. If you're out there, maybe if you have a substance abuse problem, that was the main reason of my using, because I didn't have any self respect. I didn't love myself. So I love my life. I run into my life, not away from my life. And I
yeah,
spent years
100%.
running away from my life. Same thing when it came to businesses. I needed to be popular or to be liked because I didn't like me. So I needed other people's approval to make up the lack of mine. And,
Yeah. Bottom line. Perfect. Yeah, that's
you
exactly it,
know,
man. Yeah. Yeah. It's really
admitting
just
that
filling a
too is a
void.
real, is a fucking like, whoa, you know what I mean? Admitting that, like, but like when you admit that and you find that the freedom that comes with that is like, don't get me wrong, Miles and I, we talk about like, hey, if we're ever in fucking on vacay and we're balling out, but
Mm.
why would I ever? Anyway, the point of this is like what I'm saying is like you actually like when you love yourself. I don't actually want to like party, do like honestly. I don't want to use drugs
Yeah,
to.
there's no
I'm
desire
so
really. I mean, ultimately, I mean, yeah, I'm in recovery myself, right? I'm complete abstinence. For me, that's nothing, right? No alcohol, no drugs, no steroids, no nothing. It's 100% abstinence for me, and you know, confronting life every day with a clear conscience, with a clear mind, and trying to navigate through the challenges and the discomfort that comes with everyday life, not having to go and numb that out. And we talked about that on the last episode, but it's been, for the most part, man, I think in general, there's been triggers from time to time. And I will say, it's most for myself being vulnerable here and being transparent is when I'm alone that I struggle the most because no one's looking, because maybe I could get away with it. But at the end of the day, there's been two massive shifts for me, man. And one of the biggest one for me really has just been my higher power, believing in God and knowing that I'm always being watched and that I am being judged and that I'm being tested every single day. And if I'm able to conduct myself in line with God's will, I do believe that I will be blessed, and and that's been proven already. When I'm living with integrity, I'm living authentically, and I'm living genuinely. It's happening every day, man. The blessings are tenfold in comparison to when I was living in that life of sin. And it's really, man, it's been white and black, but everyone's on their journey here. I'm not here to preach or tell anyone this is how it is or this isn't. This is my journey. This is what has resonated with me and made sense, and I believe there's no mistake in God's plan, and that's where I'm at today.
dude, you're bang on. It's kind of like even how that story like. Remember 6 months ago we were talking last night about it.
Yeah.
How like we've come back in touch. It's like
Yeah, man. Yes, 100%. Yeah, no, 100%. Dave and I were talking last night. It was the day that I was on my way to treatment. Dave and I weren't even like, we knew of each other, we'd always kind of stayed in touch through social media and whatnot, and kept tabs on each other. We always respected each other's work ethic and the hustle, and we're both athletes. We had both competed in different, in some similar and some different avenues, but and both from the same place, but we weren't tight. And I reached out to a mutual friend on my flight going to treatment and was like, hey, man, I will pay you top dollar right now to have X amount of this drug brought out to me to the airport when I land and get boots on the ground, because I'm checking in tomorrow and I want one last hurrah. And my buddy, I didn't know, my buddy reaches out, and who's he call? He calls Dave. He goes,
I
hey,
know what a small world calls me. Can I get you a
can you,
bag of
hey
this?
man, Miles is
As
going to
I'm
be,
on my way to a Seahawks game, and of course I can. Oh, weird. Just happens to be that. Yeah, yeah, duh, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I
sure.
could
Do
make it
do you
happen.
know anybody? Dave goes, well, sure, of course I know people. I've been tied around. That's from, from Dave's, like, that's, from my past. I'm sure I have a number. I'm sure I have somebody. Dave turned it down right away because it didn't
And
resonate
I'm
with his soul.
such a bro. I don't even like. I like hooking the boys up for whatever it is, and I remember
Yeah.
being like, "Hey, Miles just told me he's going to
I had
rehab,"
told you, actually. That's the one thing I had told you, I was going to treatment. That's
yeah.
right. You had an
And I
idea. You
remember
gave
being
me
like,
that.
man, I was just like, I just called my man. I'm like, nah, sorry, dude. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
doing
that
this.
feels
I don't know if you
wrong. Miles
know
told me he's going to
what's going on.
treatment, and now he's at, no, not happening.
But how crazy is that? And that's how life works. And, it's, yeah, guys, I was also at the same rehab Miles was at when I was 21. Probably should have gone two more times after, but hey, I finally figured it out. So,
Yeah.
it's just crazy how this journey works, and the power is in the story, and you're not your past, honestly. And I somewhere I lived for a long time. I used I replayed my past in my head. And it caused me so many roadblocks to never really truly reach my full potential. And I think, that's a bold statement because I'm not even close to my full potential. I think we talked about that yesterday. And you know what? I know our next question was about value, and
About value, yeah.
it's an easy subject to go into, and how much value. That's such a bold statement of providing value in the area you were in, because Miles, you know, you showed so much value when we first reconnected, and what I'm doing, and that's kind of the whole reason we're at where we are today. Is
Yeah, it's been
value.
a hell of a ride, dude. I can't even really explain it. That's a great thing, man. For anybody that's listening or is curious to like how this happened, like there's no love ain't lies, man, and there's no secrets. I had signed up as a client. I signed up as a client at first, out of a mutual respect. I had this respect for Dave, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm starting this new thing, and it's just kicking off." I'm like, "Yo, I'm just getting on back on track here, and I had always had a relentless work ethic." I was like, "Sure, I want to check it out." Day one, we check it out. We get on a Zoom call. He hears me speak, and he's like, "Hey, man, like, no, like." We need to partner up. He's like, I need you to help me blow this thing up. Let's do this together. He's like, you're articulate. You have an incredible story. And your work ethic has been relentless for years, man, years. And I think I'm proud of that. And I'll tell you right now, man, is like, I can say this with pride is there's something about it, man. I've had people come up to me, and I know this is that anything I set my mind to, I succeed in. I become pretty good at stuff when I put my mind into it, when I can make a commitment and I work relentlessly at it. You name it, man. When I started boxing, I trained religiously and I competed regularly. When I started doing CrossFit, I did it for a couple of years and I qualified for a sanctioned event. The winner of that event would have gone to the CrossFit Games. These are like, people will train their lifetimes and not make this happen. I've always had the genetics. I've always had the work ethic. I've always had the capability to make these
Always been
things
all
happen.
in, bro.
Always all in. And like, all I'm going to say, I'm not, this isn't to pump myself up, or this isn't about ego. All I'm saying is that whatever I put my mind into, I have full confidence that I will do it well. And that's what we're doing here. And it's been an everyday process. And I'm forever grateful to have purpose every day, to wake up with purpose, to wake up with a sense of confidence and pride in doing something that we both genuinely feel is a righteous act. Because what are we doing, man? We are here to help people improve their lives, to help them through our experience, our strength and hope, and give to them what has worked for us.
It's there's reasons why you did well in all those things, and it's very simple. Like it's a cliche saying of all in. Like if you're all fucking in, you know what that means? It means you're willing to do the hard shit.
Yeah.
You're willing to be laughed at. You're willing to put yourself out there. You're willing to be talked about. You're willing to do all that, fall down, fail, get back up,
Right.
keep going. Problem,
Yep.
you got a solution. No fucking quitting.
Right.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
what you have. And
Hey, we're still here, brother. You name it, man. We've been through
yeah.
all kinds of hardship. You name it, man, for sure. And some of the things
And
that we've done.
if you have that mentality in life, you can't lose.
Yeah,
Sure you may have some L's, but you haven't lost the game, which is life. Like
that's
if you
right.
just keep pushing forward, it's like. And lately I've been loving this saying, and it's again what weird how it's a cliche saying, but fuck man, you shoot for the moon and you miss. Sometimes you end up with the stars. And
Right.
as long as you shoot your shot, you'll never be let down. You'll never actually at the end of the day be like, oh, I wish I didn't fucking try. Never heard someone say that. Never
Exactly,
heard.
man. And that's the thing. Like, man, we were listening to that you shared that podcast with me the other day, and
Yeah.
it's like what makes you think that you're so fucking special, man, that you just get to bypass the part where you're criticized, where you fail over and over again, where you are having to face the fear of failure, where you're having to face the fear of criticism, where your confidence maybe isn't there, or you're second guessing yourself, or you're establishing this thing that you're trying to develop and build. And you're going, fuck, man, is it worth the time? Is it worth the effort? Are we ever going to make it? Like, man, you gotta grind through this. Anyone who's ever accomplished anything has overcome that. And that's why most people will quit, because that negative dialogue, that internal negative self-talk.
And then to top it off, they have their family and friends
Right.
being
Those
making little
friends.
making little jabs.
Oh yeah.
Mr. All In. Oh shit, man. I'm doing it right. Because you weren't saying that 5 months ago, were you,
Totally.
motherfucker?
Well,
So
hey man,
you're
I was
supposed to
talking about this
grow.
today with is like, when someone's here and
Yeah.
you're here, and that, dude, they'll cheer you on all day. Yeah, man, you can
Oh
do
yeah.
it, man, 100%, right? And then you start
Yeah.
creeping up, and they'll cheer you on. But when you start getting here, all of a sudden they start chucking some jabs. Oh, hey, slow down, man, slow down. And when you pass them, they ain't supporting anymore, because you've
No.
reminded them of what they gave up on.
Mm-hmm.
When you
And
are
that's
able
why,
to
dude,
put
a lot
in,
of people quit. How you're saying this process of like, what makes you think that you could skip all these steps of like the hard time that it takes to, because anybody that you look at has done it, has had these things. And
yeah,
you're going to have friends tell you you're crazy. Most of the time, your families or friends will be the least supporters. And
totally.
then they'll chime in with advice. I did it with my last business. But let me remind you, look at these people. And if you look at them and they don't have what you want, or they haven't done what you want, 90% of them, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Seriously, because
Totally.
they've never done anything themselves. Because the people that have done it, they don't do that. They
Yeah,
actually help you. They
it's
actually
so true,
show you the way.
because
If
they've
you
been
ever reach
through it.
out to Miles and I, we will help you. That's what people that are going after things, and you've got some serious accomplishments. You're like, I have, even in my last, with my last business, like I've actually done it. Anybody that would ever have reached out, like you said, doors always open. It's
And that's
never
the thing
the
too, Dave. Like, you don't even need, like, people don't understand. Those are the things, when I go back, man, and I think about the negative 30-degree temperatures and training in the military. People don't go to Thailand and compete professionally in Muay Thai and go get their asses kicked doing
oh,
kickboxing.
bro.
You guys don't know
The
dude,
black belt
a
never
Brazilian
makes fun of
jiu-jitsu
the white
black belt.
belt for starting.
Dude,
You
people don't
never
do
see
this by mistake.
no, but you
People don't.
never see the leaders shit talking the people trying anywhere. You don't see the millionaire shit talking the guy for trying to start the business. You don't see the black belt usually try shit talk the white belt for getting on the mats or getting tapped a fuck ton. You
Totally.
don't see the people that have done it making fun of people starting. It's only the people on the fucking sidelines that haven't done shit. That's just the way it is. So if you're wondering and you're in a spot where you're like, oh, I'm starting to hear some things, good. You're
Yeah,
starting to do some shit then, because
totally, man.
that's
Yeah,
the fucking
100%.
process.
Yeah, people are watching, right? So just keep fucking watching, and because we ain't stopping, man. We're
When
gonna
when
keep
that
going.
happens, drop a gear and fucking hammer the gas pedal, because oh, you're on your way. You're on
Yeah,
your
for
way.
sure.
You might as well
Yeah,
give them a fucking show while you're on your way. All right. You might as well fucking
I
burn a
love
little
it.
rubber.
Yeah,
Woo!
a 454 big block straight
Yeah.
pipe. Drop the gear, go. We're all gas, no brakes, man. And that's what it's
You know
been,
what?
though, man.
You know
It's
what?
been a lot
You
of
always
fun.
say it. I could go on for days. It's always the fat guy being like, "Oh, it's not about all being fit, is it?" Never heard a fit guy saying that. Oh, it's not all about the money. You don't hear rich people saying that. It's always the
True though.
person that doesn't have it talking
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah, yeah. That's facts. That's true,
And
man.
hey, man, if you don't want to be fit, wealthy, and have a good love life, well, you keep doing you then, boo. But that's the route I'm going for. And
100%. And you know what? I
it's
want to say one thing here, actually, Dave, is that it doesn't matter what it is. Is like, I don't give a fuck how fit you are. If you Because I've been there. I've been that fit guy.
yes,
I don't care how
yeah,
fit you are. If you're not morally sound and in line with your values,
yes.
it's worthless, because you're going to be in an
Mhm.
empty place. And I don't care,
Physically, mentally, yes.
dude,
Spiritually.
totally, man. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how much money you got if you're sitting there out of shape, depressed, and miserable.
You
It's
need the
you.
three pillars. That's what people don't understand. You need them, because that's
Totally.
fucking who. If anyone is else lying to you, that's the complete life. You're healthy. you're physically healthy, you're mentally happy, and you're financially sound, then now you've created the individual that you actually wanted to be like. And guess what?
Yeah.
You're probably going to get the relationship that you've always wanted because now you're that person.
Yeah, you attract what you are, man. At the end of the day, if you're a negative individual, like, yeah, your frequency is what you frequently see. If you're a negative individual, then all you're going to see is negativity, man. I wake up and I mean, most people will say I'm a pretty positive person, man. And don't get me wrong, I will never be perfect. I'm far from perfect, and I will continue to make mistakes. But for the most part, I do wake up in a positive mindset, and I am a pretty positive person. I always try to lift people up, and I see this world. I'm wholeheartedly. I live in a beautiful world. I'm very grateful for this life. I love waking up and getting to work on something that's in line with who I am, and coordinating with people that bring me energy and make my life worth living. And that's what it's all about, man, is bringing yourself to a space where you can see the world through a lens that is worth living, man. You got to be in a good mental space in order to execute. That's the truth.
Just maybe it just made me think that most people are probably killed from a worst day. When you ever think
Some people,
whenever
yeah,
you think
for sure.
you're having a rough go, I was just thinking like, man, my problems are so fucking small. My life is so good. It's also been so hard at times. To get to the good, you have to go through you got to go through the pain, man,
You do, man.
and
It's none of
you got
it's
to face the mirror.
yeah.
But the payoff is amazing, and it's so easy to get lost sometimes. In the journey. Searching for that. The endless destination because there isn't one that's ever going to bring you that. But it's like it's so easy to get just like it's just a good reminder what you're saying of how fucking blessed. You really are. If you got food in your fridge, people that really love you, and a roof over your head, you live in North America, fuck, it's pretty good. And don't
Yeah.
say that you don't have the other opportunities that other people do, because even our business partner, Big
Hmm.
Chad, he always
Hmm.
says it, man. You can learn anything. You got the tools in your hand, man. This fucking phone you hold every day can be the biggest gift. Social media doesn't, I don't know what, whatever you use it for, it can be positive or negative. You don't have to follow shit you don't like. So if you're sitting there, if you're one of those little like haters, why you or whatever, if you're or maybe you watch shit, negative news, shit you can't control, but you could also watch shit to help your life, personal development, relationship reels. I don't know. We live
Sure.
in a day and age that you can fucking do pretty much anything if you have the internet. You can learn anything on YouTube. Hell, we learn graphic design, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty much computer illiterate. So
Yeah.
there is no excuses nowadays, and it's just so crazy. A little off topic, but you know what? It's just so crazy what's out there, and
Well,
when you shift
brother,
your perspective of what's actually possible, and stop looking for all the reasons why you can't do something and the reasons why you actually can, you will see massive shifts in your life.
100%, man. It's all about perspective. At the end of the day, is whatever situation you're in, it's all about how you perceive it. How do you see this situation, right? It's and it all lines up with what we've been kind of dodging around the topic of value, man. Is like, if you're an individual, if you're a high value individual, then your perception of whatever the situation is always going to be positive, in a sense of, oh, here's a challenge, here's an obstacle, good, right? Now we
Action,
have
man, action.
now we
Because
have the
words are a dime a
opportunity.
fucking dozen.
Here's a challenge. Thank you for this challenge, because now I'm presented with the opportunity to test my will, to find a solution, to execute and overcome this challenge and develop
Well,
character through that process.
you know
Everything's a
what this
blessing. It
game
can all be a
is?
blessing, man. It doesn't need to be a curse. Life doesn't need to be a curse. You have the opportunity every day to look at any situation and do it in a positive manner.
It's that saying, man. Well, I can't remember what it is, but success is measured on how many problems you can solve, and that's really it. We talk about this all the time, Miles and I. It's show me a problem and I'm going to find a solution. And when you have that mindset, because guys, The problems never fucking stop. The
They don't.
problems in life will never stop. I was talking to my sister about this. There's just going to have another one. And so don't get so bent out of shape when you get punched in the fucking face with some thing that throws your day off. It's not a bad day. It's a bad moment. And understand there's going to be 100,000 of those motherfuckers coming at you because they don't go anywhere. You just get better at navigating around them.
Yes. Yeah, man. So many people, like, that go through the journey of addiction and it's like you think everything, oh, now that I'm clean and I'm sober and I'm not using, like, oh, life's just
Oh,
gonna be, there's not gonna be problems anymore. No, the problems were always there. The problems are always gonna be there. The difference is that you're in a space to deal with them now. That's all it is,
and if you
man. Life
don't
is
deal with
just
them, you're going
right.
to be in big trouble. You will go back to using,
Coping.
you'll go back to, yeah.
Yeah, man, 100%. So
I,
yeah, man.
I mean,
At the end of the day, when it comes to value, it's you genuinely get what you put into things. I believe that the blessings, we get what we deserve in this life. And if you're able to put everything, if you're able to put that work ethic, that relentless mentality into whatever it is, and you find something that you're genuinely passionate about, and you can go out and execute on that, that if you don't quit, you can't lose. And if you keep working hard, that if you set your mind to something, you can achieve whatever it is that you've set your mind to.
100%. Guys, we're going to wrap it up for today. We're at the four, but we want to hear from you guys. Questions, hit them in the YouTube comments, DM, whatever. You got questions, baby. We'll give you answers.
Yeah.
Raw, real. One thing you can count on Miles and I for, and the guests we bring on. We got my guy Pat Cummins coming on pretty soon. And guys, one thing about our podcast is we're never going to hide. We're never going to, that's what all in is, man. It's raw and real. And we're going to bring you guys answers to the questions you have. And if we can't answer them, we'll find someone that can,
Yep,
because
100%, man.
keeping it
Whatever it
real
is,
is
it
what
doesn't matter. And there's no, it's like we said, love ain't lies. So we're here to bring you the truth. And I'm ready to, yeah, we're both ready to be vulnerable about whatever it is. So there's no shame. There's no shame in either of our paths. Very, very proud of where we are today and what we're doing. Like I said earlier, you guys can find us on Instagram at Miles Raposo, at Dave Pookie. Definitely hit us up in the DMs. You can find us at All In Effect. And this will be dropping every Monday. Stay posted. There's always going to be new topics on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. So stay posted. Keep your eyes out. Supplement, All In supplements. We got the smoothie greens, we got the creatine BCAAs, we got protein, and I'm telling you right now, no, not just a biased opinion. You can ask some of my friends that, man, it's delicious. It tastes great. I'm very, very happy with the product. I'm very happy with the apparel. I'm happy with the man. At the speed and the rate that we're executing on this stuff, man. It's just I'm fired up. We're doing it.
And to leave you guys with one thing, man, and it's going to be the most cliche thing ever because it's written on my motherfucking hat. You want to do anything? Go all fucking in, all gas, no brakes. You're going to hit some fucking things on the way, and just put the pedal to the metal, man, and understand it. Make the vow to yourself that you don't quit, that you'll see it through, that you'll overcome anything, man, and you can literally do anything. I swear to fucking God.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Right on, Dave. Thanks, brother. I appreciate your time.
Next time, next Monday. We love you guys.
Later.